Good evening, and welcome to round number 9 of Next Gen Season 15. This is the Group A1 Tourers, and we're here at Rouen Essarts for what should be an interesting race. It's a day-night race, which will mean the drivers won't be able to see much of the circuit come the end of the race, which in turn can actually put up a few question marks and surprises as we watch Jack TM53 Synopsis go through the start of the lap on his outlap. As always, good evening Scooby G. As always, if you are watching the stream, do comment on the race as we go. It's always interesting to see what people say. Let's have a look at the 15 drivers taking part tonight. We have Jorginho, 26, NGR Tim, 78, D Whitehouse, 7, NGR Burnt Fry, 699, Shadowstalker DBS, Bob Mark 1, Web User Johnny, The Les, Lightblade 2K18, RDF1 Adam Morris, and NGR Jamie WX, typically working together right now. NGR Royston, NGR Scooby G, who has a qualification ban, meaning he can go on the circuit, but he's not allowed to set time. He must start at the back of the pack. Lion Greasby, and Jack TM53 Synopsis. So let's have a look at the standings for this league then, heading into round number 9. Scooby G leads on 142 points with Jack on 118. Jamie has 114 with the Les on 108. Adam has 94 with Burnt Fry on 78. Johnny has 78 as well. Lightblade has 64, Royston on 62, and NGR Lee, who is obviously not in the league anymore, on 61. Lion Greasby has 54 with D Whitehouse 7 on 46. Shadowstalker is on 44 with Tim on 39. Bob Mark 1 is on 26 with Omega on 24. Tro246 has 23 points to Cam123 Diz 19. Jorginho is on 7 with Mikey Arcade 13 on nothing right now as we have a big collision. I have no idea what's happened there. Let's have a look back on the stream. Okay, Tim's lost it on the grass. And can't really go anywhere, but he's right in the middle of the circuit. Oh, actually, whoever that is had a spin as well. And someone else had a spin. I think that's Lion Greasby or Jack going in, having a spin. There's Jack at the hairpin, number 44. Let's have a look. Who's going to cross the line first? Jack's having more moments. SQBG. So it's going to be Jamie and Adam. On board with Anna Morrison as we head down towards the start of his next flying lap. Just loses a little bit on the last corner. As we head now down, across the start finish line. First corner is slight brake right hander. Then we head further down. Next is on the left hand, medium speed. So again, it's touching the brakes down the gear, get the front end turn in, bring the throttle in. Again, right hander, a bit of a lift to make sure the front end goes in and straight back on the throttle. Down towards the bottom of the circuit, braking hard. Well, I say braking hard, braking a little bit through the left hander and then really hard into the hairpin right, which you got to be careful on. It's cobblestone. Adam Morris right behind, he's up on his time so far. Flat right, up the hill, Again, slight tap of the brakes as you enter here in third gear. Try not to clip the grass, you go flat right, and then hard on the brakes for an almost 90-degree left-hander. Second gear, then flat right out. You're going to have a slight lift. Just going through this right-hander. Jamie looked like he was almost pinned through there. All the way down then. Flat right-hander. Obviously past the smaller loop. This a massive slipstream heaven as we head out to the penultimate corner, which is the 90-degree right-hander. Again, you've got to be careful, it's cobblestone down here. You can see there the back end trying to get away. Adam controls it nicely. We head to the final bend, which I have seen taken flat, but very risky strategy. Though flat by Adam Morris, no problem at all. Keep it as straight as you can down towards the line. Obviously, if you come across, you're causing more distance. Adam Morris sets the provisional pole time of 2 minutes 10.3. Tim's off again. There's Jorginho. A few facts about Rouen Essarts. Only 2 people have won here. NGR Lee last season, and Whitford, a 3-time winner who's not here tonight, unfortunately. So that's quite interesting. We will have a new winner at Rouen Essarts tonight. The last season was the closest finish to a Rouen Essarts race. As we see Royston come up to the line, what can he do? What's it, 7th with a 2:18.2. Thanks coming out of the penultimate corner. Yeah, last season the top 4 were covered by 0.2 of a second, so ridiculously close. The best pole position time, it was done by Whitford in a Mercedes at 2 minutes 8.123. As Jack comes up to the line. He puts in a 2:11.1. As we watch Bob Mark 1 now. He puts in a 2:20.0, putting him 10th on the grid so far. Jack's lost it. Yeah, the best BMW time came from Cam for a pole position, 2 minutes 8.979, and Jack holds the outright record in the race. In the BMW with a lot of slipstream, a 2 minutes 7.354. As we said, someone on this grid is going to be a first-time winner at Rouen Essarts. What can Jamie do? Does a lot at the moment. Adam Morris still has provisional pole. Melez, the number 33 Gerhard electronics machine. He can't go any quicker than his 2 minutes 14.1 right now. Johnny crosses the line. Can go quicker, but doesn't improve on his position. D Whitehouse 7, I think that is Royston with him, yep. Line of Greasy behind jumps the pair of them. He's into 7th now at 2:14.2. Right on the tail of Johnny. Oh, sorry, he's not jumped Johnny yet. Very close between those two. The leg is just coming out of the hairpin. Lightblade 2K18, the first time he's ever been to Rouen. What can he do in the number 2 BMW? He's currently 4th at the moment with the 2:12.5, 2.1 off the pace. Jamie up on his current time by 0.4. As he heads down towards the penultimate corner. Through the last corner, flat. What can Jamie do? Who's 0.4 at the second split? He's 0.2 at the end of it. And he puts it second on the grid at the moment to 11.0. Still 0.6 of a second off the pace of Adam Morris. Who is just coming through the last corner. Just heading down now through the final corner is Adam Morris. Can he improve on that to 10.3? The answer is no. Jack leading this little train. That's I don't know who that is behind him. Maybe it's Johnny? Nope. Someone else. He's coming up to the line regardless. Doesn't go quicker. I think that was the lap he had a bit of a spin on. Really pushing it through turn one actually. He's got probably 2 more laps here. If he wants them. Oh, very sideways. Unless who's coming round to finish their laps? Bob Mark 1 and Jorginho. First time Jorginho's been here. Or at least in a league race. For NXTGEN, he crosses the line. Does improve to 11th, but Bob Mark 1 immediately takes that back. A 2.18.5 and a 2.18.9 respectively. Let's see if we can find... That's DYR7 having a big accident. That was Jamie coming across the line. He can't improve at the moment. Light Blade to be the next man through. Up to the line he comes. He can't improve either on his 2.12.0. Johnny is coming up to the line. Mr. Les just gone through, nicked 5th at the moment, 2.12.7 for him. Johnny can't improve. Line Greasby at 2.14.2 right now. He does improve. He goes 6th quickest now, 2.13.1. Now remember, guys, this geezer is on a controller. So that's very impressive to be in the top 6 right now here at Rouen Essarts. But Jack puts it on pole position right now with 2.10.1. 2/10 quicker than Adam Morris. Where is Adam on track? Adam's at the bottom of the circuit around the hairpin. He is going quicker, but not quick enough after sector 1. Shadow Dogger now coming up to the line. This will be the end of his qualifying session. Doesn't really improve. He stays 14th quickest. Jamie, WRX. Moving round to finish his qualifying. In the number 21 machine. Crosses the line, can't improve. He stays third quickest. Lightblade, a lot of time. I say didn't improve. I think Jamie does improve his time, but he doesn't improve his position. Lightblade. Very impressive first time here for Lightblade. He does improve his time, but doesn't improve his position. The Les now coming across the line. I think it does improve his time as well. Maybe Johnny comes across the line. Goes sixth quickest. Anamari sets provisional pole at 2:09.2. What a good time that is. Lion Greasby puts in a 2:12.4. Doesn't retake his 6th place. Jack TM53 Synopsis. He's got a big amount of time to pull back now. And he can't quite do it. He puts in a 2:09.6. Royston, the last man to set his times. Session over. And your grid looks like this. Anna Morris takes pole position away from Jack TM53 Synopsis. Row 2 is Jamie WRX and Lightblade 2K18. Row 3 is the Les and Web User Johnny. Row 4, Lina Greasby and D Whitehouse 7. Row 5, Tim, a great qualifying by him, up in 9th with Royston alongside. Bob Mark 1 starts 11th with Dorino in 12th. Burnt Fry is 13th and Shadowstalker 14th, and obviously Scooby G, no time set, taking his qualification ban after Imola in the BMW M1s. So we'll wait the race here really start to get underway. Bit of chatter between the drivers before the race begins. Here we go then. A very compact grid, but we're going to have 11 laps here in France. The Group A1s, the 3 red lights. We are green here, Roulette. So it's a poor getaway from Adam Morris, and immediately Jack jumps him. As the roar of the BMWs, and Jamie's going to pass Adam Morris coming through turn 1 as well. Let's flick through the field. Have we got away cleanly? Yes, we have. Scooby G up into 14th after turn number 1. Through turn 2, that sounds like collision behind. It's Lina Greasby and Royston. Meanwhile, at the front, Jack still leads from Jamie from Anna Morris at the head of the hairpin for the first time. These 3 getting away from D Whitehouse 7. Lightblade, I think, has been caught up in something as D Whitehouse 7 almost goes straight on at the hairpin. That allows Burnt Fry up into 4th. Bloody how's he got up there? That's a phenomenal start. The Les having to wait up. There's Lightblade. He's in the hay bales at the hairpin. Scooby G up into 8th. But at the front, Jack still leads. Jamie has Adam Morris right up his chuff. Jamie into the wall. The fast right-hander. She's going to have Anna Morris side by side through the flat right-hander onto the back straight. Jack now nearly a second ahead. Anna Morris still on the inside, heading into the penultimate corner. Jamie will let that one go. Meanwhile, Brent Fry now in 4th place. He's overtaken DY House 7, who squeezes Johnny into the grass. Oh dear. Oh, hello, there goes Lina Greasby as well. I think there's someone else in the background. Jorginho, he's up into 6th place. That's a great effort by him. There's Scooby G. Mark 1 into 8th. You see Lina Greasby trying to get recovered in the background. There's Tim. And Brent Fry has now recovered. He's now down to 11th place. Top 3. It's probably not a lot, but Wembley's a Johnny now into 5th place. Dio has 7-4. Scooby G has managed to get past Jorginho. That's a big crash for Webby's a Johnny. Luckily, he's gone away with that one. Big collision, but it's not spat him back out. On board then with Scooby G. Brent Fry, there's Bob Mark 1. We'll go back to Scooby G in a moment. Looks on the inside. Oh, remember these two tangled last time around at Imola. Scooby does not want the same to happen this time around. They head through the fast right-hander. Something's happened to Jack. Possibly just caught the grass or a barrier there, because he's now 4.5 behind Anna Morris, who now leads this race. They're focusing on these three at the moment. The battle for 4th. There's Johnny forcing D. House 7 to go defensive here. Looks to get him on the switch. Yes, oh, and a bit of a tap. And Scooby G will happily take those 2 places. Big shame, just DY House 7 just losing the rear. Unfortunately clipped Johnny and also went into Scooby G, obviously Johnny into the grass. A big loss of momentum, and Jack again has had a moment. He's now down to 13.7 away from the leader. That is your 2 leaders at the moment. Lightblade 2K18 is gradually closing in on Jorginho here on lap number 3. They head through the left, through the right. Into turn 3, or 4 even. Then Lightblade, oh, Jorginho. Well, I think he's just lost the rear there. Unfortunately, Lightblade couldn't capitalise. The Les currently in 9th. Tim, a great effort by him so far. He's into 10th. Obviously down 1 position overall, but that's because of Scooby G pretty much. Les and DY House 7 very close, coming through the flick right hand onto the first part of the back straight. It's effectively like 2 parts around it. Keep an eye though, because Lightblade has got past Jorginho. Just seen the back end of that one. As we see one more with the Les. 150 miles an hour. As he gets that toe, he moves to the inside. Although, oh, collision between the two. Bit of a racing incident. Obviously, Les understeering a bit on the cobbles. DY House 7 going around the outside. Almost inevitable something was going to happen there. Oh, burnt fry, that's a big incident in his defence. And Les finds himself going the same way and bunny hopping it around. But really enough, still gets a better exit. Meanwhile, Scooby G finds himself up into 4th place. Ahead of Johnny. See. Royston and Line agrees you were close on the track, now they're not. There's Bob Mark 1, there's the Les, he's down to 14, so he's had a bit of an issue somewhere again. But here's the closest battle on circuit, and I don't think it's much of a battle. These two will not fight now until the end of this race. They know what these two do. They work together for the majority of the race. Then they'll scrap it out maybe in the last couple of laps. But you can see here, Jamie, was he pulling out? Adam not defending. And it wouldn't surprise me if he had a change of the lead. Yep, there we go. Adam not fighting it too much. These two just wanting to build that gap to give them security from behind. Meanwhile, Burnt Fry has Line of Greasby right behind him. This for the top 10 spot. Line of Greasby down the inside. But Burnt Fry not giving this one up easily. He's gone right round the outside. Heading towards the final corner, and Line of Greasby couldn't get the move done. A better overrun from Burnt Fry around the outside. Better exit. Obviously on the inside, you've got a much tighter angle, and Burnt Fry's clipped the grass into the barriers. And Line of Greasby didn't really have to go for the move, he just had to wait for the mistake. Royce and Bob are quite close on track at the moment. Burnt Fry trying to keep up with Line of Greasby right now. As they could. They are they catching D? Yes, they are both catching D White House 7. Meanwhile, the Les has managed to get past Bob Mark 1, who looks to have had an incident. Well, look out for this battle, because Line of Greasby is catching up with D White House 7. He's got Tim ahead of him, so this could turn into a four-way scrap at the 8th place position on track. Torino is back up into a lovely little bit 7th place at the moment. And Morris within 4/10. This is great stuff from Tim. He's done a really good job so far. He's still got a half of the race to go. You see, he's just immediately. Oh, hello. That's I've heard of defensive lines, Tim, but that's not quite how you take it. As D House 7 gets past him. You can see the speed difference because of that mistake. 138 on the exit, 136 for Tim. Now, 2 miles an hour, it doesn't really sound a lot, but when you're doing that sort of pace, it's a hell of a lot of momentum. Jamie's still in the lead, and Adam is right on his tail here on lap number 6. As looky, the sun's going in. Jamie's made the mistake. Adam Morris pounces around the outside of the right-hander. Again, Jamie not making it too hard, but he's causing himself more issues by clipping the grass. Now the track temperature will drop. It's going to be key right now. Scooby G flicking his lights on as it gets darker here at Rouen Essarts. It's just gradually turning into the battle of a night. Currently Tim and Lion Greasby haven't felt the need yet to put their lights on. Burnt Fry in the background has done. And Tim just staying out of trouble right now. Lion Greasby gets his lights on. Tim just touching the grass, you don't want to be doing that. And Jamie's lost 2.1 seconds somewhere. So this is the part where it gets interesting because track temperature drops, visibility becomes less, and it now relies on the skill of the driver more than anything. Lightblade is gradually catching up to Johnny. I think we can see this battle produce something in the next 2 laps. So we'll keep an eye on that one. No. Still sat there in 9th place. He's carrying good paces, Tim, through there. He's level on times with Lion Greasby. Burnt Fry just dropping off the back of this battle. Lightblade still not quite with Johnny. And Bomb Mike 1 and Shadowstalker could have their own little battle soon. At the back of the pack. But Adam Morris still leads as he heads around the penultimate corner. He looks like he can lead us onto lap number 8. Jack still with no lights on. I'm amazed he's with no lights. I mean, look at that. You can hardly see the car going into the penultimate corner. Scooby G, Johnny, Lightblade. Jorginho. DY House 7, Burnt Fry, 9th now. There's Tim, there's Lion Greasby, so I'm guessing a bit of a clash maybe between the two. Or a spin for the pair, as Tim now gets overtaken by the layers, going through the flat right-hander. Bruce Lee Harding saying Jax has eaten carrots. Yeah, it does look like it, doesn't it? I mean, look at that. Oh, he's finally put his lights on. He's run out of carrot power, and he's had to become human again and put the headlights on. Still, he should have been in that leading group fight. He was leading on lap number 1, but it looks like a couple of costly errors have cost Jack the chance to win at Rouen Essarts. Johnny and Lightblade gradually closing in on each other, but ever since it's got dark, Lightblade's not been as quick. Les has extreme carrot power. Bruce Lee Harding saying, yeah, Jack's found him by button mashing. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me if I'm completely honest. Trying to find a battle here. Johnny and Lightblade, oh, they're gradually closing in now. I've said it for the last few laps, but this time Lightblade is now 1.1 behind Johnny. It's amazing the things that happen when you turn your headlights on. Jack's gained about 2 seconds so far. He's now 12.7 behind Anna Morris. With an ultimate turn, Johnny losing the rear through the cobbles and almost on the grass again. That should give Lightblade a good run to close this gap down further. It's now less than a second. Shadow Zorga has now been lapped, I believe. Here we go, 7/10 the gap. This is what Lightblade is seeing. As we head through the first few corners. Down to turn 4. And Lightblade a bit easier going into it. Clipping the apex nicely, not too much of a slide. The gap now 8/10 though between Johnny and Lightblade. This is your closest battle on track. You can see there, Lightblade just taking slightly tighter lines. Just trying to shorten the circuit as much as possible. And now he's on Johnny's tail. Through the fast right hand. Oh, Lightblade into the barrier. That's going to cost him time. He's only got 2 more laps. He's down now to around a second behind Johnny. Luckily, he's just about caught the toe there. Jamie is closing in on Adam Morris though. See, Adam Morris looking to make it 2 wins in 2 races. Back to this battle for the final place in the top 5. Not only that, Ginetta has got D Whitehouse 7 for company. And Lightblade running slightly wide through turn 1. As he attempts to get the time to Johnny down. Not quite close enough, but D Whitehouse 7 is right on the tail of Ginetta, 26. Through turn 1, I wouldn't try and look around the outside, that just ends in disaster. Good evening, Matthew. How are you, mate? It's good to see you. Shame you can't race at the moment. This is a quality circuit, and Ginetta defending for his life. Lightblade's made a mistake somewhere. He's now 1.2 behind Johnny. And Chirino's gone absolutely screaming into the hairpin. I don't know where he's clipped the grass on the entry, but he's gone absolutely screaming off. And that's allowed D Whitehouse 7 through. So Light Blade now 0.8 of a second. Jamie has now 2 seconds behind as they head onto the final lap of the race. At the front is Ginetta. 0.6 then we go. Penultimate corner then. On the penultimate lap, Johnny's made the mistake. Light Blade is through into the top 5. Matthew suffering from... You know who Matthew Jordan is? Cam123 Diz. Obviously very quick driver. A bit ill from time to lighter. So hopefully you get better, mate. Because it'd be good to have you back. And it's been an absolute cracking race so far. As Light Blade now into 5th. Ever since it's got dark, Jack's like pulled the pin. He's suddenly found some pace from somewhere. Now 9.9 behind the leaders. Obviously he's not going to make up that time. So far from it. Where are our leaders at the moment? They're just heading towards the first part of the back straight. There's a close battle starting to brew between Burnt Fry and the Les. Obviously, Burnt Fry, first season in the Group A1s, he's done very well in the moment. 6th in the tables. And behind that, Royston and Tim, the battle for 11th is starting to brew quite nicely, but we're going to head back to the leaders because Adam Morris, he took pole position and he's going to convert that into a second win in a row. Adam Morris will win. Here are Rouen Essarts from NGR Jamie. Don't bother looking at that timing screen. Jamie does finish second. Jack will come home a nice 3rd place, taking points out of his rival NGR Scooby G. Now as Bob Mark on ahead in 14th, he'll be finishing now. Cross the line in, Scooby G finishes 4th. Light Blade, a great drive back into 5th. That is quality from that man. Waving to Johnny, a respectable 6th for him. D Whitehouse 7 has decided he's eaten some more carrots during the race. As we lose him in the darkness. The back marker has just finished. Shadow Stalker in 15th has just finished. D Whitehouse 7 then comes across the line. 7th place for D Whitehouse 7, a great result for him. And Burnt Fry, somehow, some way, has got past Dorino and the Les. He's going to come home for 8th place. On his debut at Rouen Essarts, Dorino, his debut at Rouen Essarts, comes home in 9th. The Les in the top 10. But this is a battle we're starting to see as someone very sideways in the background. I think that's going to be Royston, but Tim has Line of Greasby right behind him. Through the final corner, it's going to be a great result for Tim on a very difficult circuit. Tim takes 11th place from Line of Greasby in 12th. And finally, Royston will be the last man to cross the line. He'll finish in 13th. So, provisional results. Adam Morris takes the victory from Jamie WRX. Jack 3rd, Scooby G 4th, Lightblade 5th, Johnny 6th, D Whitehouse 7th, Burton Fry 8th, Dorino 26th is 9th, The Les 10th, Lionel Greasby not there, Tim 11th, Lionel Greasby 12th, Royston 13th, Bob Mark 1 14th, and Shadowstalker DBS rounds out our 15 finishers. Now, next week, next Monday, we return with Group A1 action at Zolder, and they are all going to be in the Mercedes 190Es, and also it's a top 4 reverse grid race, so it means the top 4 in the championship will be starting at the back of the pack, so expect for some great action and overtaking. Next up though is the modern touring cars. We'll be live, as always, with commentary from myself, from Silverstone National, track which inevitably produces great racing, close racing, so it's going to be a fantastic race to watch. But do join me in about 5-10 minutes for that one. But for myself and the Group A1s, join us next week for Zolder. And other than that, thank you for watching.